One of the most powerful drugs in the world is actually something that you can get from anything, and that's nostalgia. When it comes to nostalgia, people just love to have nostalgic feelings because it brings them back to a point in time where maybe they were a kid and they didn't have to worry about bills and a wife that's yelling at you and kids that are running around dropping crap on the floor. Nostalgia brings you back to a point in time where the biggest problem you had was figuring out which friend's house you wanted to go over to on the weekends. And nostalgia, while it is a powerful drug, can also be used very wrong. There's been lots of franchises that have come back with that sort of nostalgic feeling, but they don't really emulate what the original source material did and how it made you feel. And of course, things are supposed to change. Things are supposed to constantly evolve, but you have to still show respect to the original source material because that's what made a franchise popular in the first place. That's what made people fall in love with it. So fan service is very important. Obviously, we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge today, and this was a game that everything I saw from this game, I loved. I just thought it looked so good, and it was like, they have to screw this up somehow. There's no way it could be as good as it looks. There's no way it could play as good as it appears to play. There has to be some major flaw with the game because maybe we're just becoming jaded old individuals now that have seen our childhood sort of get ruined by remakes and remasters and all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge today, the actual truth about this game, what it brings to the table. And yes, there's a million reviews out there already for this game. I was not one of the cool kids who got a review copy, but that's fine. I'm not bitter about it or anything like that. I just had to think to myself, well, how are we going to make this interesting for people to want to watch my video? And I don't know, maybe we'll give away a copy or two of the game. Who knows? I guess I'll have to stick around and find out. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge really sort of follows the NES, the SNES, and of course the arcade style versions of the game. That is a very simple story. If you've played the original games back on the 8 and 16-bit and arcade systems, you kind of know what to expect with the story from this game. It's nothing super robust. You're basically just trying to stop Shredder and his minions from doing nefarious things with the Statue of Liberty because that's a big deal in New York. Lots of people try to take down the Statue of Liberty, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are there to stop it. Now, if you know anything about the previous games, you would know that this is a beat-em-up game, and beat-em-up games, you know, they're fun for a while, but they can get very repetitive and unfortunately get a bit boring towards the end of the game. But I think this game manages to do something that a beat-em-up really has never done for me, and that's just stay fresh throughout. Now, you have a bunch of different characters to choose from. You, of course, have the Ninja Turtles themselves, you have April O'Neil, you have Master Splinter, and you have Casey Jones. Casey Jones is an unlockable character after you play through the story mode one time. With the story mode of the game, you basically choose your difficulty and you jump into the levels. What makes the story mode interesting is that there's kind of a leveling system that ends up happening with your characters, where basically the more tasks you do and the more challenges you complete within the levels, the more character points you get and your character levels up. By doing this leveling up, you can actually unlock more moves that are available when you first start out with the character. Now, you have basic stuff like your combos, attacks, and all sorts of stuff like that, but you also have your powerful attacks known as super attacks. Basically, you press a button when you fill up a little meter and you could do a super attack. Now, by playing with the character, you can actually unlock more super attacks, like a flying super attack or a diving super attack as well, to sort of keep things fresh throughout. You can also taunt enemies, and by taunting enemies, you can get another meter filled up on your special attack. There's a radical mode that you can unlock as well, as your character gets even more powered up, that basically takes all of your bars from the special attack meter and gives you some really good strength going throughout. Now, the game does play like a beat 'em up, but I think it's just amazingly fast and amazingly fluid. Now, one of the main things about this game was the fact that you could play with lots of people. You could play with up to 6 people, and that was something that I was kind of like, well, that seems like it's going to get a little chaotic. There's going to be some slowdown or something like that, especially when you're playing it online, but there's really not. Like, there's not whatsoever. I played a lot of levels by myself. I played a lot of levels with just random people because it has basically a drop in and drop out online co-op structure, and it all worked great. There's actually team attacks you can do as well that are triggered by doing certain events, and of course the levels themselves are all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You'll see lots of throwbacks and sort of callbacks to original Turtles games. There's characters that pop up as well. The boss battles themselves are really fun. Everything about the gameplay is just very tight. It's very precise, and it's very, very crisp. Everything just feels so fast, so fluid, and the animations and everything that go along with it just make it all that much better. I was really impressed with the level variety as well, because besides just your standard levels where you're on foot, you also have your little hoverboard sections as well that are always fun to check out. And all the backgrounds all feel very different than other backgrounds. Sure, a few levels kind of blend in and out together, but there's enough stuff happening within the levels, there's enough stuff happening within the backgrounds that keep things fresh. Now, when you're playing the story mode, there's actually collectibles that you can find that will actually help level up your character as well in a bit of a faster manner. So by finding all these collectibles within the levels, you could then visit a character on the overworld map and then get a boost for your stats. So that's really cool as well. I didn't get every unlockable my first playthrough of the game, so I will be going back and trying to get all of the unlockables. Once you complete it all, you can always go back to the overworld map and choose any sort of level that you want to play at any time. So I think that's a really cool thing. Another cool thing about playing this game in story mode is the fact that when you're playing with other characters, let's say your health meter goes down to 0 and you get knocked out, you're actually not having to use a life right then and there because there's a 10-second drop window. Within that 10 seconds, a character could come along and heal you by pressing the L trigger on the Nintendo Switch, and then you actually get a little bit of life and you can continue on without having to use another life. Characters can actually go up to other characters and hit the L trigger, and then they will transfer some of their health to them. So there's a lot of teamwork involved in it that you don't necessarily have to do, but it is fun indeed to do it. Now, beyond just the story mode of the game, there is an arcade mode, which kind of strips away a lot of those elements and makes it a bit more basic. You have a stock amount of lives, and you're just going until you run out of lives. It definitely feels more like an old school experience. The difficulty is buffed up a little bit. When you play the story mode of the game, there are different difficulty levels that you can choose. I just went with medium for most of my playthroughs, and honestly, I felt medium was pretty easy. So arcade is kind of nice in the fact that, you know, it does change things up a little bit. It does give you a little bit more difficulty, and there's a leaderboard system in the game as well. Now, you've been looking at the game, and it looks great. The presentation in this game is stupid good. Like, it's just stupid good. Every character looks really good. Every enemy looks really good. Every boss battle looks really good. All the levels themselves look really good. There's no frame rate issues. There's no hiccups. There's no slowdown. Everything just flows like it should. And there's, like I said, there's tons of callbacks to previous Ninja Turtle games that fans of the franchise who are, you know, a bit older, who have grown up playing these games, they'll instantly recognize. Everything from little video cues to little audio cues that you get. Everything is just fantastic. And the presentation just continues throughout with the music. You have Mike Patton from Faith No More doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles intro song. You have a song with Ghostface Killah and Raekwon from Wu-Tang Clan. It's like, this is amazing. This is, did you make this game specifically for me? Because I feel like you made this game specifically for me. Adding in Wu-Tang, adding in Ghostface, Mega Ran is in there as well. It's just, everything was done with such meticulous care. Everything was done with thinking about, yes, you're going to have newer players playing this game, but you have to respect the older audience. You have to respect the people who made Ninja Turtles what it is today. For my complaints about the game, I do have one complaint, and it's a very petty complaint, honestly, but it does involve an intro movie for this game. Now, the intro movie is spectacular. That's where you got Mike Patton singing it. It looks like the greatest version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon ever produced. I'm showing it right now. Just absolutely brilliant. But you can't access this trailer. At least I couldn't access it. I couldn't find anywhere to access it by in the game menus or anything like that. I actually have to exit out of the game and then restart the game in order to do that. I would like to see that so I could just watch it whenever I want, because I want to watch it again and again because it's freaking awesome. It looks amazing. The Mike Patton singing the song sounds amazing. I want to watch this over and over again before I play the game to get myself hyped up. And really, that's my only complaint. I honestly think that this game is one of the best games of all time. Now, hear me out on this, because that's a very bold claim. It's a very bold claim. I believe it's sitting at 86 on Metacritic right now. So a lot of people don't agree with me necessarily on that. I think it's a really good game, but not one of the best games of all time. But I have to say, this is the best beat 'em up game of all time. I've played a ton of beat 'em up games. Maybe I'm missing something, but pretty much I, grew up on games like Double Dragon, Streets of Rage, and I played Streets of Rage 4, and it was an amazing, amazing game. But this is the best beat 'em up game I've ever played. it manages to activate that nostalgia while still keeping things fresh. It's accessible for fans of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 80s or fans of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 2000s and 10s. There's so much variety. There's different things like achievements and collectibles that want you to keep playing the game, leveling up your characters, the drop in and drop out online system. It's honestly the best beat 'em up game ever made. And if a game is at the top of its genre, it's automatically in discussion for one of the greatest games of all time. I don't necessarily think it is one of, is the best game of all time or anything like that, but it is the best beat 'em up. So you have to give it respect. You have to give it its kudos. Like, I went and bought the damn $200 limited run thing after playing this game a couple times through because I was just so impressed. Like, yes, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch version of the game, but I also got it on Game Pass as well and was playing that too. And it's just like, they freaking nailed this game. And I'm just absolutely blown away. I'm absolutely, if they don't do any DLC for this game, that's fine. That's fine. There's enough here to make me want to play through it again. It's fun enough to where you just want to pick up and play and maybe play a few levels, or maybe you want to binge it and go all the way through. There's local multiplayer, online multiplayer. It stays true to the source material while still expanding for new audiences. It looks great. It plays great. It sounds great. It's the new king of beat 'em up games. And if it's the king of beat 'em up games, it's at the top of the genre and arguably one of the greatest video games of all time. So how do you get your hands on this? Obviously, the world is kind of in a topsy-turvy situation. People are hurting out there with these gas prices and stuff. Like I said at the start of the video, I'm gonna give away 2 copies of the game. Yes, because I am a good person, okay? I'm a good person sometimes. But we're giving away 2 copies of the game. Basically, in the description box down below, I will have a pinned tweet. Within this pinned tweet, just click the tweet. You don't have to have Twitter or anything to access it. You just click it and the tweet will pop up. There will be a giveaway link. This is not a WhatsApp giveaway. This is not a Telegram giveaway. Don't do any of those. You click, this is an official RGT link. So you go ahead and click that and it will bring you to a tweet where you enter to win your copy. I'll run the contest for a week and then I will hit up the winners. Thank you guys for watching this video all the way through. I absolutely love this freaking game. I'm probably going to play it in bed right now because I'm filming this the night before. So I'm probably going to play this in bed right now and just do another run, level up my Casey Jones because I love this game. I love this game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you played the game yet in the comment section down below. Good luck to everyone who enters the contest. Share it with your friends. Yes, you have a small chance of winning, but a small chance is better than no chance, right? Right. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.